how to get your website ranking at the top of Google. Now in this module, you're going to learn how to get your site ranking at the top of Google for your chosen keywords. And this process is known as offsite SEO. These are the external factors happening to be able to get your website in the top results of Google. Now, I do want to let you know this is not going to be an in-depth SEO course. We're not going to teach you the ins and outs and the technical aspects of SEO. But you are going to learn everything that you need to know about SEO to be able to learn the essential elements, how to obtain them, everything you need to get top search engine rankings without needing to know all the technical specifics and become an SEO master. You're just going to learn the essential elements to be able to rank at the top of Google. Now, the most important ranking factor in Google is still the quality and the quantity of backlinks that are pointing back to your site. There are literally over 200 different factors that Google looks at to determine where your website is going to rank, but the single most important factor is backlinks, and that is mainly what we are going to focus on. Now, what you need to understand is that backlink acquisition has to look as natural as possible. And our aim is long-term rankings. We're not looking to rank for a month or 2 months and then disappear from the search engines. We're looking to rank for years and years with our sites because that is where the money is going to be, and we don't want to keep repeating and churning and burning rankings over and over and over again. So, how do we get long-term rankings? The first thing that you should always do when you're going for long-term rankings is to avoid black hat and spammy links that can get us penalized. Here's a screenshot of an email that I get like 20 a day from, like, "Hi, I am Dinesh from India. I provide all sorts of spammy links. Are you interested?" These are the kind of links you want to stay away from. Don't go for $90 or $100 or $200 SEO where the guys promise you top rankings. They're just going to spam your website and they're probably not going to get results. And even if they do get you results, it's going to be very short term. So stay away from any sort of cheap, low quality, bad links. In the course, we're going to give you our suggestions of the preferred outsourcers that we personally use to get results. And we highly recommend that you use those to get the results. If you go out and try different vendors, you're more than welcome to, but again, you never know what you're going to get. So maybe you'll get good results, maybe you won't get good results. The ones we are going to suggest to you later in this in the course and below this video, those are the ones that we've tested with tens of thousands of dollars, and we like to use them because they simply work. Now, part 2 of SEO is keeping your link velocity natural. So link velocity is quite simply the speed at which links are built. Now, it's very bad if you go and build 1,000 links in one day and then build absolutely no links for the next 3 months. That just looks suspicious to Google. It would be good if you're building 1 to 3 links per day for the next 3 consecutive months. It's all about looking natural. So Google doesn't want you to game their search results. They don't want SEOs. They don't want people to manipulate their rankings. Like if you go out and you build hundreds of links in a short period of time, but then there's no consistency to it, that's not natural. It's natural when a website goes out and you start promoting it that you get a consistent influx of links, whether that's 100 links a day, 1,000 links a day, or 1 link a day. As long as it's consistent, then that is what Google is looking for, and that is going to be good to get your rankings. You want to aim to keep building links consistently for at least the first 6 months of your website. Now, point number 3, you want to use a wide variety of anchor text and use minimal exact match anchors. Now, anchor text, it's quite simply the text in the link that points to your website. So here's an example of SERPShake. That's the Twitter account. And you can see the blue where it says SERPShake.com. My anchor text is SERPShake.com. Now, exact match anchor text is the text in the link being the keywords that you want to rank for. So for example, with SERPShake, we want to rank for Singapore SEO. Now, if that exact text in the link is Singapore SEO, that is called exact match anchor text. For the most part, at least 95% of all the backlinks that you build to your site, you want to use brand, URL, and generic anchor text. So examples would be SERPShake, that is a brand anchor text. www.serpshake.com, that is the URL. Click here, this website, continue reading, click here. Those kind of things, they are generic anchor text. And basically you want to have at least 90 to 95% of all your anchor text being those kind of texts. It's going to help your site look very natural, your backlink profile look natural, and it's going to help you for those long-term rankings. And if you really want a useful tip, avoid using exact match anchor text completely. For the first 2-3 months, don't use any exact anchor text. You have your site structure and your content perfectly optimized. Combine that with building backlinks with a brand URL and generic anchor text, and that should already get you ranking or appearing in the search results for a lot of keywords. And after that, you can slowly start adding the exact match anchor text, maybe one link at a time, to be able to push yourself up to those top Google rankings. Let's talk about the types of backlinks that there are and how to obtain them. The first one that is very easy to do, that is social profiles. They are natural for any site. They add authority to your domain, and the side benefit is that you can get real traffic and they're easy to obtain. So social profiles are just any social media sites: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Reddit. There's so many of them. These are the ones that you can go and build out for your site very easy. So the recipe here is just to go and create profiles on all the major social media platforms, and be sure in the section where it says about your site, or you have your profile or your bio, just link back to your site with a URL. The second link type that is very useful, they are press releases. Now press releases, they're a fantastic source of natural backlinks. From a single press release, you'll get 150 to 200, maybe even 300 backlinks. You'll add authority to your domain. You can link out to 2 to 3 URLs per press release. And again, the side benefit is you get real traffic. Another side benefit is that press releases, because of their authority, they end up ranking for the keywords also. So you will actually get, in some cases, the press release ranking for your keyword and your website. So you get 2 listings on the first page, which is a very cool benefit. Press releases are pretty cheap. The recipe for a new site, what we recommend, is in the first month you do a press release every 2 weeks. So month 1 you do 2 press releases, and in months 2 to 4 you do 1 press release every month. So that's a total of 5 press releases in the first month, and that will give you a lot of authority, a lot of link diversification, and a lot of exposure. The next link type that's easy to obtain, manual blog comments. They're natural backlinks for diversification purposes. It adds authority to your site, and they're easy to obtain. So quite simply, what you do is you go to any sort of blog in your industry and you'd leave a comment on that blog with a backlink to your website. Now the recipe for manual blog comments, you can either go and do this yourself or you can outsource it. Doing it yourself, it's very easy, but it's just time consuming. You need to look for relevant blogs in your industry and go and leave comments. If you outsource it, you can go to Upwork.com or any freelance site, or perhaps if you already have a virtual assistant, you can instruct them to go and comment on a certain amount of blogs. And usually it's pretty cheap. For $30 or $40 or $50, you can probably get 100 to 200 manual blog comments done. Now, what we recommend is in the first month, you go out and you build 100 blog comments. So you don't want to build them all in one day. You want to spread that out. So you want to build like 4 to 5 blog comments every day or every 2 days, something like that. And in months 2 to 4, you want to build 25 to 50 blog comments per month. Now, the real secret sauce are the authority links. And these are powerful, industry relevant links that are really going to push your results up in the search engine. So it adds authority to your domain, and they're expensive in general. They're not so easy to obtain. You either have to purchase them, which ends up costing a decent amount of money, or you have to put in a lot of effort to be able to network or to write guest posts or that sort of thing. We'll get to that in a second. But basically, these links are so powerful because they are expensive and not easy to obtain, and they are really the secret sauce that help you get the end results. So the recipe for this is we typically like to outsource this in month 2 going forward. And the reason why we say month 2 going forward is in the first month, you're building your foundation. You're building your manual blog comments, your press releases, your social profiles. You want to get that natural kind of start where you're slowly starting to get all sorts of different types of links, build that foundation, and in month 2 forward, we can start adding these authority links very slowly to start pushing you up in these search engine results. Now, there are 3 services that we like to use. I just want to mention them here quickly, but we will mention them below in the resources pages and on the checklist. That is linksmanagement.com, pauseyourrank.com, and rankpay.com. They all have various options for either manually going to buy these links, you can buy them individually, or you can actually pay an SEO professional within those sites to actually go and build those links on your behalf and get you the rankings that you're looking for. So these are 3 different resources that we use. Now, outsourcing it to a professional is usually a little bit expensive, or more expensive than if you do it yourself. So if you wanted to and you have that time, you can obtain authority links yourself, and usually cheaper than when you outsource. And the main way and the easy way to do this is through outreach and through purchasing links, but in a white hat way. So we don't want to buy black hat links. We don't want to buy spammy links on crazy networks or want to use automated tools. None of that. We want to do manual outreach, and we want to purchase links on individual sites. So the way that you do this is you go and find sites in your industry, and you can just Google that. So if you're in the SEO industry, you type in SEO site or SEO blog. If you're in the health niche, you type in health blog, health sites, those kind of things, and you do a bit of digging and you start compiling lists of these sites. You go out, you contact them through their email address, through their social media, and you offer to provide them with free content. So here's just an example, because Serpshake is in the digital marketing and kind of internet marketing industry. An example of a site I could go and write a guest post on would be a site like ProBlogger.net. It is a very popular website. It has a lot of authority, a lot of readers. And you can see here, if I go to the blog, you can see on the 21st of July, 2016, this article was written by a guest blogger. And basically, you can find many of these sites that accept guest posts. Lots of them, lots of blogs and lots of sites will actually love to accept guest posts, because it means they don't have to write the content themselves. They get free content, their readers get free content, and all they need to do is just credit the author, which is you, with a link back to the site. And you can see here at the bottom of this article in ProBlogger, you can see Matthew Olenyuk. I don't know who this person is, but basically he's the person who wrote the guest post, and you can see he gets a link back to his site, thecareernomad.com, and he links to his LinkedIn profile. So guest posting is a way to get good links from authoritative sites. Now, another thing that you can do is, if you don't want to write those guest posts, you can also offer to pay sites. So certain sites won't accept guest posts, but they might accept a sponsored post, meaning they might actually go and write a post if you offer to pay them and insert a link. Or you can pay them, you can ask them, maybe they'd be interested in adding a link to your site in one of their previous blog posts in the archives, and you might pay them $20 or $50 or $100 or $500, whatever it is, depending on the quality of the site. But you'd be surprised sometimes for $20 or $30 just to add a link in one of the older posts. That can get you a very nice backlink to your website. Another tip is, if a site offers advertising, you can often see on a blog or a website they have an advertising or sponsor link, and you can see sometimes they just offer images in the sidebar or banners that they offer to sponsors. You can ask them if you can pay them that same rate, but instead of get an image or get a banner, you get a link back to your site, either in a post or on the sidebar or in the footer. So these are all little ways where you would go and reach out to people and offer them either a way of giving them content or offering to pay them in return for a link to your site. And depending on how competitive the keywords are that you are targeting with your website that you want to rank for, you may only need a handful of these kinds of links to really push yourself to the top of the Google results. It's that easy. Sometimes 5 or 10 or 15 links are enough to be able to get top rankings for certain keywords. And sometimes obtaining a very powerful link, like I said, can cost as little as $20. So we've just covered SEO, which is a huge in-depth topic that takes people months and years to understand and to learn in about 15 minutes. So this was really a condensed kind of crash course, but it contains all the essential elements of what you need to rank. So if you want to, you can go and rewatch this video and pause it at certain areas. But what I do want to say is, below this video and on the checklist page, you're going to find the various resources and the recipes mentioned in this video. I'm going to tell you where to buy each type of link. I'm going to tell you where to buy press releases. I'm going to give you some tips how to get manual blog comments, I'm going to show you how to outsource it and where to outsource it. That's all going to be covered below this video and on the checklist. So don't worry too much if this kind of went over your head the first time. I know it might be a little bit overwhelming, but you'll get it in the rest of the module, like I said, and in the checklist. So you have the exact information now that has made me a ton of money, and that can make you a ton of money too. The most important thing, like I said, is you have to take action. You have to go out and do the research. You have to go and build the website, and you have to go and rank it in Google. If you don't take that action, if you're too scared, if it's too overwhelming, you're not going to be able to succeed. But you have everything that you need. You have the strategies, you have the resources, you have the training. So go out there, take action, go and build your first site. We're looking forward to featuring you as our next success story.